Donald Cerrone comments on devastating loss to Conor McGregor. Donald Cerrone repeatedly said fans were going to be treated to a war at UFC 246, and the day before he fought Conor McGregor, he insisted he was going to deliver a memorable performance. Ultimately, however, Cerrone was quickly put away by McGregor in under 60 seconds. So if you're Cowboy, what happened? Heading into UFC 246, Cerrone was a considerable underdog since he's been a slow starter and he was coming off losses to Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje. Of course, the fact McGregor's a former champ and is one of the most dangerous strikers in the game also play a key role in the odds. Most people understood that McGregor's best chance to win the fight would be to catch Cerrone early, but not too many people were likely predicting that he would finish Cowboy in just 40 seconds. So what was Cerrone's take on the gut-wrenching loss? After the bout, he told Joe Rogan this: "Oh man, he caught me with those elbows right away, like destroyed the shit out of me and then head kicked me. What a great game plan he had, man. Oh, 100%, I had never seen anything like that. It threw me way off guard. He busted my nose and it started bleeding and then he stopped back and head kicked me. I was like, oh man, I got my ass kicked this early. I'm going to keep fighting, man. I love this sport." McGregor dazed Cerrone with some hard shoulder strikes in the clinch, which you don't typically see. So from that perspective, it's kind of hard to be too critical of Cowboy for what transpired, right? Well, not if you're ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. After the UFC 246 headliner, the veteran broadcaster was quick to blast Cerrone for how he performed. For example, Smith had this to say about Cowboy. "I'm quite disgusted," Smith said. "Let me be very, very clear. I'm honored to be up here with you guys. I'm a spectator watching the sport. I expected to see more than 40 seconds. I predicted McGregor was going to win this fight inside of 2 rounds. I thought he would take him out. Here's the deal. 15 seconds in, Cowboy Cerrone was done. He got hit with those shoulders in the clinch and he was done. It looked like he gave up. It was just an atrocious performance on his part." So what do you guys think? Was this really an atrocious performance by Cerrone? Was it further evidence of him being a slow starter and caving mentally in big fights? Or should McGregor be praised for his effective use of shoulder strikes and then following up with a quick head kick like he did? Or could all of the above explain what went down? All that aside, it will be interesting to see what comes next for Cerrone. There's no doubt he's one of the most beloved fighters in the game. But he is now 36. He's lost 3 straight and he's taken serious punishment in all of those fights. So if he loses again and loses badly, will calls for him to retire start making the rounds?
I did come out and I let that left hand go from the chamber. The force of him dipping and me connecting with him with my hip even was a shot in itself. But I'd probably put that down to 15 months outside of the octagon. You know what I mean? A little bit overstepping the shot, and 15 months outside the octagon, a little eager. You know, take from it all and carry on.
Khabib Nurmagomedov and his team were watching the UFC 246 main event between Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone with keen interest. The former 2-division UFC champion McGregor was able to dominate Cerrone en route to a 40-second TKO victory. The Irishman stunned Cowboy with strikes early and then proceeded to drop him with a head kick. The promotion's reigning UFC lightweight champion, Khabib, who is 28-0, he took to Instagram shortly following the conclusion of last night's headliner with the following statement: "History will justify us," Khabib Nurmagomedov wrote on Instagram. Also, Khabib's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, responds to Conor McGregor's post-fight press conference. Conor McGregor said,
Dana was in here earlier. I guess Kamaru Usman had his Twitter hacked, and some of the hacked tweets were to you. They were profane.
I'd be skeptical of that. I'd be skeptical of that because one came through early, and it had all the hallmarks of that little weasel, Ali. Just a right. They give him control of the accounts. He had Frankie's account. He had Henry's account. This has been going on a while. He gets it and then writes something through their thing. And I've been in discussions with some of these athletes, right, to come on board and whatever and help them out and that. And I know exactly what had happened, and then the way the first one was written, I knew exactly where it came from. And then all of a sudden, a little bit heavier ones, and then it became a hack job. So, whatever. I don't know what I don't know what's going on tonight. It's a bit of a weird night, wasn't it? The two boys doing mad stuff.
So you think it could have been Usman tweeting that or Ali?
No, I don't think it was Usman. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care, man. I actually don't care. They just had all the hallmarks of your man that's done it in the past multiple times.
Well, Ali responded on Twitter by saying, "Keep my name out of your mouth, boy, before you get humbled again." What do you guys think? Does Conor McGregor deserve a rematch? Let us know down in the comments below. Dana White says Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor 2, not Conor versus Jorge Masvidal, makes sense. Leading up to UFC 246, there seemed to be more buzz about Conor McGregor possibly fighting Jorge Masvidal than his bout with Donald Cerrone. So now that McGregor's returned to the win column with a quickly and violent win over Cerrone, is Dana White looking at making that fight? Based off the UFC president's comments on Saturday, it doesn't sound like it. Masvidal has been campaigning for a fight with Conor for months now. In fact, even before Gamebred fought Nate Diaz in November, he was calling for the bout. Last fall, McGregor said he wants to add the BMF title to his resume, and Masvidal took that belt by defeating Diaz at UFC 244. Well, everyone understood that before Masvidal versus McGregor could be a possibility, the latter would need to defeat Cerrone. So now that's happened, what does White think? During the post-fight press conference for UFC 246, White made it pretty clear that they're hoping to have Conor for the lightweight title next. While talking about McGregor's next bout, the UFC boss man said this: "If Conor Masvidal fight, neither one of them even has a title. Although Conor does want his BMF title, but he doesn't have a world championship." White said, "Khabib's the fight to make. It's huge for Khabib's legacy too. If he beat Conor McGregor, and then he beats Tony Ferguson, and then he beats Conor McGregor again, this is how this kid, when he retires, he's 30-something and and he's beat all the best. I'm telling you right now, Khabib versus Conor is the biggest fight in the company and the sport's history, but I think it might rival Conor and Floyd Mayweather." When you consider how massive Nurmagomedov versus McGregor 2 would be, it's not too surprising White feels this way. Yes, a fight between Conor and Masvidal would be huge, but very likely it wouldn't be as big as a rematch with Khabib. The thing is, however, that Conor has said he wants to stay active in 2020. Khabib and Tony Ferguson aren't fighting until April 18th. So provided the stars don't get injured and end up fighting, McGregor would likely remain on the sidelines for 7 or 8 months if he waited for a title shot. During McGregor's post-fight presser, he relayed once again he does not want to sit out. When asked about waiting for a shot at the 155 title, the star said this: "I think, okay, the lightweight title will be there. That will be there. You see the difference in the physique, the preparation in that will come back around, that title shot. I'm certainly not going to, if Nurmagomedov versus Ferguson goes ahead, sit out and then wait through holidays and injuries and all these things that go with it. So it's going to be really fascinating to see what unfolds here. Do you think the UFC will insist McGregor remain on the shelf? Or will they grant McGregor his wish if he asks to fight Masvidal or someone else for that matter in the interim? After all, a rubber match with Nate Diaz would also be huge."